This morning we're talking about how to better communicate with your children at any age, because the studies have shown us how you communicate with your child can impact their self-esteem, their trust in you, and also how they'll form relationships with others. Joining us on this important topic, we've got Anamaria Villamarin Lupin from Manning Family Children's to break it all down for us. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. This is a really important topic, I think, because how we communicate with our children affects so many things about how they think about themselves and others. That's a bit heavy for a parent.
Right, and arguably, effectively communicating is a skill that we work on our entire lives.
Absolutely.
And so thinking about how do we impart that early on, and it's really throughout the spectrum, throughout the lifespan of our parenting journey.
Yeah.
We can start early, of course, with our toddlers, and as they're growing, we need to continuously think about how are we adapting as they grow to impart these skills.
Yeah.
So really, one of the things that is probably the hardest is to listen first, talk second. And again, that can be practiced from the moment they're little to really figure out what it is that they're feeling, to be able to name that feeling and teach and model that this is how we connect, because effective communication is actually, at the end of the day, about fostering connection.
That's really important. Yeah, I'm seeing some of these other core principles here. Do these relate to any age?
Any age. And so, for example, let's say a younger child is really upset and they're not happy about a change that you're making in the moment. You can connect with the feeling. I know you're really upset about having to stop this activity. It is now time to move on. And so in that way of talking, you're modeling using your words, staying calm. Very important. That's hard for us as well. A lot of times we're tired.
Yeah.
We have things to do. The next thing is coming up. And so thinking about that as you're factoring that in. And then with our teenagers, same thing. If we're beating that drum throughout our years of parenting, then as they get older, they come in late. We've already set the limit of this is the time we'd like you to come in. Having a calm conversation the next day, perhaps, not in the moment, to kind of go over, we've talked about this before, this is what we've agreed to. I felt upset when you broke that agreement. How are we going to solve this problem? It doesn't mean not following with a limit. Sometimes we've misunderstood the validating feelings part, and then we stop there.
Sure.
We want to take that to the next step and staying with the limit. And certainly, we want to model that in all ways. If we have an argument where we get heated, everybody's human. We all make mistakes, and this is a journey. We can go back and say, I felt really upset in that moment. I raised my voice, and that's not how I want to be. That's not how I want to talk with you, and I'm sorry about that. And it's okay to have that same sentence with less words when they're little, and with as long words that I just used, but notice not a very long sentence. It's not a thesis on how I felt and what we're going to do afterwards. And it's really important I think the modeling part is essential. Again, we make mistakes.
Sure. How
do we repair them? So effective communication at the end of the day, it's not so much as what we're saying in the moment, but also in fostering that connection. I think 2 times ago I was here talking about launching our young people to college, and a lot of those young people are coming home right now. So how do we capitalize on those moments, build space for togetherness, and then practice the skills on how do we talk to each other in a meaningful way, which could include also putting away some of our devices so we can actually have conversations.
A great reminder.
That would be an important skill.
Yeah, especially as so many will be coming home and having those Thanksgiving meals. Put them away. We so appreciate you. This was wonderful advice.
You're so welcome. And we do have a class on effective communication next week on Thursday.
Perfect. There you guys go. So if you'd like to explore this further, as she mentioned, December 4th, 5:30 to 6:30, effective communication. We always appreciate when you guys come in, such great reminders for us. And we have a list of all of the upcoming classes that you see here on your screen on our website, www.tv.com, for more information.